Welcome to AI ConvoCast, where we bring you the latest in AI and tech innovation. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Let's jump right in.
Today, we will be covering Anthropic's deep dive on how it keeps Claude agents from causing real damage, Hassabis tightening his AGI timeline and calling the agent era a practice run, the Gemini API key mess that's becoming a cautionary tale for developers, and a hands-on look at Amazon's Bee wearable that's testing how much ambient AI people actually want in their lives. Starting with Anthropic, which published a remarkably candid engineering post on May 25th detailing how it contains Claude across Claude.ai, Claude Code, and Claude Cowork. The framing shift here is important. The question is no longer whether the model behaves well, it's how much damage it can do when something goes wrong. Anthropic openly admits that Claude now routinely has access that, a year ago, the company would have refused to grant, including reach into internal services. The numbers behind this are eye-opening. Anthropic's own telemetry found users approved about 93% of permission prompts, which is basically approval fatigue in action. People just click yes. Their Claude Code sandbox cut those prompts by 84%, but auto mode still misses roughly 17% of overeager risky actions. The takeaway, in Anthropic's own words, is that the engineering question is how to cap the blast radius. That phrase is going to stick as the new slogan for agent security. What makes the post unusually valuable is how openly Anthropic discusses its misses. A project local config file executed before a trust prompt could fire. An internal red team phishing test got Claude Code to exfiltrate AWS credentials in 24 out of 25 attempts, and a Cowork allow list allowed data exfiltration through Anthropic's own API using an attacker's key. For developers building agents, the practical lesson is that model layer defenses alone are not enough. You need hard sandboxes, ephemeral containers, and real isolation, because the user will absolutely approve everything you ask them to approve. Moving to Hassabis, who sat down with Axios after Google I/O and offered a sharper AGI timeline than before. The DeepMind CEO said 2029 is now possible, while he still broadly expects AGI around 2030. He connected that confidence to progress in agentic systems, and what he called soft self-improvement, where coding agents make engineers meaningfully more productive, which then accelerates the next round of research. Hassabis described the current agent wave as, quote, a little bit like a practice run, framing the next year or two as a stress test for governments, companies, and users before substantially more capable systems land. He told Axios that policymakers and economists are still not taking the transition seriously enough, and pointed to Anthropic's recent Mythos episode as a warning shot that organizations aren't ready for how quickly capabilities can surprise them. He also noted that leading labs are focused on recursive self-improvement, though he was careful to say systems are not yet improving themselves autonomously. Semaphore's I/O coverage captured the mood with another Hassabis line, the foothills of the singularity. Whether you buy the timeline or not, the head of one of the top 3 frontier labs publicly pulling the date forward is the kind of statement that tends to shape boardroom and government planning. On to a story that's equal parts security warning and customer service mess. TechCrunch published an analysis on May 24th tying Google Cloud's AI security advice to a string of Gemini API key incidents. One developer reportedly got hit with a $10,138 bill in about 30 minutes after a key was compromised. Google refunded 2 reported victims, but said it has no plans to change its automatic billing tier upgrades, which is the mechanism that lets these bills balloon so fast. The underlying technical problem is arguably worse than the billing surprise. Security firm Aikido reported on May 22nd that deleted Google API keys could remain usable for up to 23 minutes after deletion, with the risk extending across Gemini, BigQuery, and Maps. TechRadar summarized the practical issue bluntly, saying users have, quote, no way to revoke it faster. When you combine that delay with AI APIs that can rack up massive charges in seconds through high-volume image or video generation, you have a window where a leaked key is essentially a blank check. Google Cloud's COO Francis D'Souza used the moment to warn about shadow AI, those forgotten data repositories and stray credentials that agents can stumble into and surface. For developers, the practical guidance is to scope keys narrowly by API and origin, prefer service accounts, and assume revocation is delayed rather than instant. Finishing with a more human story, TechCrunch ran a hands-on review of Amazon's Bee wearable on May 24th, and the verdict is genuinely mixed in an interesting way. Bee is an always-listening ambient AI device that transcribes your day, summarizes conversations, and tries to act as a passive personal assistant. The reviewer found the ambient AI features genuinely useful, especially for remembering details from meetings and casual conversations, surfacing action items, and saving you from taking notes. The problem is everything around the actual usefulness. Wearing an always-listening device in social settings is awkward, and the reviewer noted that disclosing it to other people in the room consistently changed the dynamic of conversations. There's also the consent question that ambient AI hardware keeps running into. The people around you didn't sign up to be transcribed by Amazon. Bee represents a real shift from demo videos to a shipping product you can actually buy. But the early reception suggests the social contract around always-on AI hardware is still very much unsettled. The technology works. Whether the people sitting across from you are okay with it is the harder problem.
Thank you for listening to AI Convo Cast. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Thanks and hope to see you again next time.